You're listening to episode 255 of the Small and Supercharged podcast with Ria Freeman. Well, hello and welcome to this episode of the Small and Supercharged podcast. It is a solo with me and we're going to be talking about threads. Who hasn't been talking about threads the past week? I mean, I've been talking about it a lot, to be perfectly honest with you. I've been asked lots of questions about it. I've been on the radio and the TV chatting about it. So I thought I would create a kind of condensed version of all the stuff I've been talking about. And more importantly, the 7 questions I've been asked a lot about threads. What I'm going to say as well is that in Mastermind this month, our focus or our masterclass is going to be on threads. Now, I know it's a new app. I know it's a shiny new app. And therefore, I think at this stage, if you think about the way that experts work and the amount of effort and energy that goes into being an expert and how many hours worth that should be, no one is really an expert on the platform yet. However, I have dedicated a huge amount of time, a bit too much time, over the last few days about it since it launched on Thursday. I've done a lot of reading. I've written articles about it. I've researched it. I've spoken about it. So I feel that based on the current stage of growth of threads, I'm pretty strong on it. Based on the current stage of growth. So I thought we're going to look at these 7 questions. What is threads? Do you need it? How to get started? What should you say? What's missing? Do I like it? And should I join? As in, should you join? Now, these are questions that I've genuinely been asked on lots of radio stations over the past, since it launched. So I thought, let's just go for it. And I'm going to condense my radio interviews into one thing. But as I did say, Mastermind, we're having a big focus on this. I'm going to go through step by step by step, everything, including the kind of content that's going to work on there, how to build up that following, how to engage that following. All that stuff is going to be in our masterclass for this month. And on this, we're going to be looking at those 7 questions that I've been asked loads of times. So the first one is, what is threads? Simply, it is a new social media app that is owned by Meta and is really closely integrated with Instagram. In fact, to the best of my knowledge and my research, you need to have an Instagram account to have a Threads account, but it is a standalone app. It's a text-based app. So Instagram particularly is about the visual, isn't it? It's about the beautiful image, the stunning video, the reel. It's about the visual. Then usually the visual stops people scrolling. They hopefully read your text, your caption, and then they engage with you. Threads is all about that text. It's about the conversation. I think sometimes we can use our other social media platforms as like a broadcast platform. You know, we put out an image and we expect and we hope people will engage with it, and that can be lovely. However, with threads, we are trying to get a conversation going. And the whole point of the threads word is that it is a thread of chats and exchanges. So what's quite good about the app when you open it is that you can see your threads. If you go into the little heart icon, you can look at you can look at your replies and your mentions. So it's actually super, super easy to keep track of those threads that are going, including who's been following you, who has, liked your comments, who has replied to what you've been saying. So it's easy to keep track of these threads. So think of it as a text-based social media app. Fast exchange, interesting conversation. And what is good or bad, depending on your own personal preferences, is that you don't need to post an image with it. If you want to, you can. And I've seen some beautiful images on threads, a bit like other social media platforms that are text heavy. I have seen people post lovely pictures, people post lovely videos, but you don't have to do it. You can just be text. So what is Threads? It's a text-based social media app owned by Meta, integrated very closely into Facebook. Integrated very closely into Instagram. Meta is the new name for Facebook. I should have said that to start with. New, it's been on a while now, but I know whenever I give Meta lead trainer trainings, we regularly cover that as well. So Meta is what Facebook used to be known as. Facebook is the company, or Meta is the company that owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and Messenger. So Threads, text-based social media app owned by Meta, very closely linked to Instagram. The next question I've been asked a lot is, do we need yet another social media app? And it's up to you on this. I like the app. I like the way it works. I like the functionality. I'm enjoying using it. Do we need another social media app? I don't know. There are a lot of social media apps in existence, not just the big ones that we know about. There are plenty more besides. I think there is always room for innovation. I genuinely like the app. I can absolutely see how it fits in with the Meta family. I think it provides a different kind of social connection through community, which I like. So for me, I like the app. I think it's a welcome addition to the range of social media apps out there. However, if you're feeling really, really overwhelmed by social media, having yet another app that you need to manage might not be something that you want to do. And the thing is, you don't have to do it. You don't have to download the app at all. You don't have to get involved. So do we need it? I like it. So to me, it does fill that gap in a jigsaw puzzle. So it just depends on your view for that one. Now the next one is how to get started. I actually pre-ordered, in inverted commas because it's a free app, but I pre-ordered it from the App Store, which meant as soon as it released, I got a notification, downloaded it, and then I was able to set it up really, really easily through its integration with Instagram, because it carried over my username, my profile picture, my bio, and it even said, did I want to follow the same people that I followed on Instagram? So I already had a bit of a starting base to go from. And that is a great way to get started. Because it helps you set it up, it does make the setup easy. You don't have to think of some new witty username to find out that someone's taken it already. You do have that option. So getting it started is actually incredibly simple. So don't be put off with that. That bit's not tricky. When it comes to what should you say, what should you post, again, that is up to you. But keep in mind the conversational aim, the community aim, the quick exchanges, the to and fro of the app. And that should help you. So you don't have to be spending ages and ages finding an amazing picture or putting together an amazing video. I wouldn't worry too much about that for Threads. I would think about the quality of the conversation. I've got involved in some really good conversations on there. I love actually Stephen Bartlett's Threads. I really like that. I also love how much Mark Zuckerberg, who's at Zuck, as in ZUK, on Threads, and Adam Mosseri, who is the head of Instagram, how involved they are with the app in terms of the content that they're sharing. And I think they're great people to watch. If you kind of got involved and you think, I just don't know what to say, start commenting on other people's stuff. Start that way. Start engaging with other people's threads. You don't have to be thinking of kind of sharp, witty one-liners. You can just say what you're thinking, what you're up to, something that's caught your eye. You can share a link. You can share a blog. You can talk about something you've learned or what's important to you. Think conversation. But also, although it's a new app, it's got a bit of an interesting feel because it's got a bit of Instagram's vibe to it. You know, the fonts Instagram, the colours of Instagram. So I think it can almost feel in some ways a bit overwhelming that, oh gosh, I'm coming to this late. But you're not coming to this late. This is a few days into the process. By the time this goes out, it won't even be a week old. So you are really quite early in the process if you're going now. So don't overanalyze. I would just start to get involved, start to learn on the subject on the app. It's a really, really good way to learn, and everyone's learning, everyone's finding their feet. And just like with other social media platforms that you use, you test content, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you move on. So don't overanalyze what to say. Even if you just contribute to other people's discussions, that's a great way to start. So that'd be my advice there. But getting involved is a really good place to start. What's missing? Now, it has been compared to other social media platforms. The things that are really missing for me that I particularly miss, the thing I miss the most, is the functional hashtag search. This, I don't know if that's the correct term. I don't know if other people say that. But what I mean is, let's say Instagram, Twitter, probably those two main ones, actually LinkedIn. You put hashtag something. So hashtag, let's go dogs of Instagram, or hashtag dogs. And and you click on that hashtag and it links you to content of other people who have labeled, categorized their content as hashtag dogs. That is not currently a feature on Threads. That does not mean it won't become a feature. I think what I've seen quite a lot of is people are going, oh, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it. It is literally days old. I think we need to give it a bit of time to mature. And actually, the creator, the head of Instagram has been saying it's not the finished product yet. And if you look at his threads, he's very open that it's day 1 or day 2 or day 3. Keep in mind and think about how the other social media platforms have matured over time. Instagram, as it is today, is not what Instagram was when it launched. Neither is Facebook, neither is any other social media platform. So please give it time. Yes, I would love a functional hashtag search because search on the app isn't like it is on other apps I use. However, it is a very, very young product that has had an insane launch, like insanely great launch. The PR that's been gained from this launch is just next level masterclass, let alone the number of signups. And I know people will say signups aren't the same as engaged users. Completely get that. It's still incredible if we're looking at like for like signups of other different places. So what's missing? Functional hashtag search missing for me. Direct messages aren't there. Honestly, I'm not missing that as much as I think I should. Because I've got the direct messaging function on Instagram, I've got Messenger on Facebook, obviously I've got direct messages on LinkedIn, on Twitter, I've got email, I've got all the things. I've got messaging on all of those. So if somebody wanted to contact me, it wouldn't be that hard for them to find me because my username's the same as it is on Instagram and they could find me. So I'm not that fussed about that. I'm quite happy with that situation. The other thing that's missing at the moment, which I love that's missing, is there's not as much negativity around it. I think some platforms get known for kind of trolling and people that use it in a negative way. And I love that. So far, at the moment, I don't think Threads has got that vibe. It feels a much lighter, happier place to be. There are significantly less people on it than there are on other bigger platforms. So if you want to know what's going on with Threads and you want to keep an eye on the developments, definitely follow Mark Zuckerberg. As I said, he's Zuck. He put up a thread. It was 2 days ago, but I'm recording this on the Sunday. It'll be out on the Wednesday, so you can do the maths. That said they had 70 million signups in actually not very long at all. That is an insane amount. But if you look at the other social media platforms and their size, it's a smaller amount. I mean, it's mad, isn't it? We're saying that 70 million people, which is, I believe, over the UK population. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Is a small amount. It's not a small amount. It's amazing. So, what's missing for me? I really like the hashtag search. Direct messages, I'm not that bothered about. I really like that the negativity is missing. I'm enjoying that a lot. I guess follower numbers are missing as well because on all the other platforms, I think we've all spent a lot of time gaining our followers and growing our followers. I'm very pleased with the number of followers I've got, but because it's a shiny new app, because not everyone's come across from Instagram, I've got less followers than I've got on any other social media platform. But that's okay. That's just the way it is. And I'm not that bothered about that because I believe it will grow, the first thing. And also, I am really pro the quality over quantity. The people that I'm choosing to follow, I want to engage with. And if I don't want to engage with them, I will mute them or unfollow them. So, there you go. It has also got some really cool functionality that's come over from Instagram, which I think is a real plus, which I think is going to help it in lots of different ways as it evolves and adapts as well. Now, the next thing is, do you like it? Again, I've been asked, do I like it? Yes, I do. I'm enjoying using it. I like using it. I've had some nice conversations with people about it and through it, and I've enjoyed those a lot. So I like it. I genuinely like it. I was excited about it launching. I was interested to see how it was different to other apps. I think it is different to other apps. And yeah, I like it. And another question I get asked, the last one in our magical 7, is should I join? People ask me if they should join. It is completely up to you if you join. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. However, I would say if you are thinking of joining, if you can be an early adopter to a platform, that can be a really positive thing because you get in when there are less people there. What that means is that you've got a greater opportunity to make a bigger impact on the people that are there. So for example, if we think of someone like a big influencer on Instagram, they might have millions and millions of followers. Therefore, if you contribute or you message them or you comment on their post, the chances of your comment getting engaged with or liked or commented back on is fairly low because they've probably got a lot of people doing the same. However, at the moment on Threads, because of the relatively small number, there's much more chance for your content getting seen and, engaged with, and you having chance to make your voice more heard. That's a thing, that's a benefit of being an early adopter. Of course, the potential negative of that is that if the platform doesn't work, then you may have wasted your time on a platform. And this has happened with other platforms before. My gut feeling is that Threads is actually going to do really well, but that's a whole different subject. That's just my personal view based on a lot of reading, research, and threads I've seen. Not actually on Threads, but just stories. So join if you like, don't if you don't. But I think that it's a fun experiment and it's a very different way of working. I've seen people a bit panicked that they don't understand it. Don't worry about that at the moment. It is less than a week old. Everyone is finding their feet. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about not understanding the ins and outs of it. Everyone is in it together. Everyone's finding their feet. They're learning how it works. They're kind of sorting out their audience there. They're working out what kind of content works for their audience. Don't worry about that. But you do have the opportunity to be an early adopter on the platform, which can be a really positive way to increase your presence and increase your authority. I've spoken to lots of people on the podcast over the years, and many of them have said that if they've got particularly large social media followings, there's lots of reasons why people have got large social media followings, but a number of people I've spoken to have said that the time they got onto the platform, whichever one they're using, really helped them to grow that following. Now, of course, that's not the only thing, because if their content was horrible, people wouldn't follow them anymore. But it's just a sort of a little leg up, I guess. So if you can get a leg up with this platform and you're interested in this platform, it might be a good opportunity to take it. I'm not saying you should, you do you, but I'm saying it could possibly be a good opportunity to get involved. So they are the 7 questions. I've been asked a lot about Threads this week. I am sure I'll be popping up in other places over the next week. I've actually got other interviews already scheduled this week, so I'm sure you'll find me in some places, but I think they're the questions I've been asked the most, and hopefully that information will be useful to you. If you are on Thread, do find me, Ria Freeman PR, over there, same as on Instagram. And if you want that really in-depth masterclass, do check out Small and Supercharged Mastermind. If you head over to my website, riafreemanpr.co.uk, and if you go to Mastermind, you'll see it there. And in addition to the masterclass, each week we have a live, and I've been asked about it in the live as well. The live is a really good opportunity to ask your questions, and I will do an in-depth answer to the best of my ability, or I will research it and present you with that as well. So thank you very, very much for listening today. I really appreciate your time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do screenshot and share wherever you are, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Threads. You can actually share your threads back over to Instagram as well if you use a little symbol. That's a little top tip for you there. Thank you very much for joining me today. Really, really appreciate it. Have a brilliant, whatever day you're listening to this, have a brilliant Wednesday if you're listening to it on the day of release, or whatever day you are listening. And we will catch up really, really soon. Take care.